Good morning. It's ridiculous in the morning and I've already got the coffee and I'm trying to sort out my IKEA design because the appointment I had the other day, she got it all wrong, dimensions wise. So I've re-measured this room and we should be good to go, and I'll update the design and hopefully we'll be able to get this done within the next month because I need the workspace. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment, and later today we'll make some products. It is also MacBook Day, so I'm very excited about that. So I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. So today is a pretty exciting day. Today is MacBook Day, which means that I'll actually be able to edit my videos in a decent way. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so I'll show you the unboxing of that in a little bit and make some products and all of that stuff and take you along because apparently some of you like vlogs no matter how terrible I am at them. So let's get on with it. As you'll likely know, because I've been complaining for a while, I have had trouble editing, so I have solved the issue, fingers crossed. So I'm going to set this up now and get editing my latest video and we'll see if there's an improvement. And here it is, I'm editing this very video. Videoception. I've just finished an online consultation with IKEA because it turns out that the woman I spoke to in store got the design completely wrong because she got all the dimensions of the room wrong despite having the actual blueprint for our house. But anyway, I have designed this. The room doesn't look very big, but there's actually about 2 meters between these two cabinets, so that's like a 2 meter workspace. So is that, and then that's like about 1.5 meters, so it is quite a lot bigger than it looks. But the idea will be that around this corner will be my packing area, so I'll have packing supplies and finished products, etc., and my national shrink wrap system will go along there. And then this is like a cupboard with loads of pull-out wire trays, so that'll be where bath bombs dry out, where soap cures, etc., and I can either have the door on or off. And then this is like a making and filming station, and then I'll have some nice sort of oak shelves above here where like mica and things like that will go. There'll also be shelves above here in the packing corner. And then this is just sort of the admin shelving to keep it separate. And then I've got cupboards here for storage and loads of drawers there for all my bits and pieces of equipment. And then there's also cupboards under here as well. And then if I spin you around, and then getting used to their thing. So here there's like a little bit of wall that juts out, but we're going to have a worktop going along here. Again, that's like more than 2 meters. I know it doesn't look like it, but that's going to be a work surface where I have my little stove top and things like that, and then equipment and probably either ingredients for things I sell or ingredients for YouTube. One or the other will go here because I want to keep those separate from the ingredients I use for the things I sell. And then space here for something else, which I'm hoping to get at some point, which I'll show you when I get it. And then under the window will be a standing desk that rises up and down, and then I've got room for 1 or 2 lab tables in the middle. Again, doesn't look like it, but there actually is enough room for that. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and I know it looks all dark, but I'm going to match the cabinet cupboard's colour to the wall, and it's basically just going to be all dark grey and oak because my branding is very sort of black and gold, and there'll be some fake plants because can't really have real plants in there, and it will just be a lot easier to manufacture and keep clean and have like designated sections for everything. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. Just need to find someone to fit it, and yeah, I'll keep you posted on the progress. So it's the weekend. I've been working quite hard, and yesterday I really wanted to try a soap design that I've been wanting to have a go at for a long time. It's quite elaborate because it has like 11 layers, but I think I've pretty much nailed it. It could be neater, but then I can't decide if the way it is now actually looks quite cool or not. you can be the judge of that. I'm going to show cutting it now. I'm afraid I didn't show making it because it was a bit of a stressful process, but here's the cut. I'm pretty sure it'll be just as satisfying. So here we go. You can see it's obviously a rainbow soap. I quite like it. The layers were supposed to be straight, but I think I started laying them up when it hadn't quite set enough, but I think I quite like it. My husband reckons it looks like water and then land and then a sunset. So, you know, it needs a little bit of perfecting before I actually sell it as a final bar. And there's also a lot of air bubbles in it where I was only doing small amounts. I think it would benefit greatly from being made in a larger mould. It will make stuff a lot easier because there'll be a lot more mix to use my stick blender in, and then I won't have to move it around quite as much. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. It is very, very, very neon. If you want to get your hands on these neon colours to use in your soap, then I get them from Soak Rochford in the UK. There is a link below. There's also a discount code off your first order, so tell them I sent you. I should probably also mention that this is cold process, but these colours do also work in melt and pour really well. So, picking out fragrance oils for the next project I'm about to make. And I've realised I've got a bit of a fragrance oil problem. I cleared out one of these, hand for scale, not that long ago, and here we are. Another almost full container. And I have another full one down there as well. And this is just my sample sizes. Yeah, I need to stop. Okay, so we're going to make a body wash. Here is our water. To the water, I'm going to add a tiny little bit of water soluble dye. And when I say tiny little bit, I mean really tiny, like, okay, a lot. We're adding a lot of water soluble dye. That went very wrong. Let's roll with it. Okay, here we go. So water soluble dye, you possibly don't need that much, or maybe it will be okay. It'll just be quite red. I was aiming for more of a pink, but it's fine. We're good. Let's put that to the side. Let's take our glycerin. Just got that in a little bowl here, and we're going to add to that Solagum AX, which is my preferred thickener of choice, but you can use xanthan gum soft or xanthan gum clear if you specifically want a clear body wash. Add that to your glycerin because we want to create a slurry. You know how this goes. Add that all in there. It just helps it disperse. Although I do find Solagum is actually very good at dispersing in water without actually having to disperse it in glycerin. But I know if I say that to you and I try and do it, it won't do it now. So I'm going to do the slurry method because we want this to go right. So that's that mixed. I'm now going to add this to my water, like so. I really should have done this in another beaker and then added the water to it, but you know, it's Sunday and I'm trying to get a formula out for you, and the poll on YouTube was quite definitive in that you want body washes and cleansers, so I'm going to go for that for you and hope that this works. We'll stir it up, and then this should hopefully not clump and form some sort of gel. Just have to be get it in shot for you, a little bit patient. But I think I find about Solagum, it is really silky smooth. You do need a little bit more Solagum than you would other gums. Just something I've found, but it does make really, really luxurious feeling gels. So I really, really like it for that reason. I can feel it getting thicker as I mix it. Thicker and thicker and thicker. You can feel the resistance as you stir, which is just that nice feeling when things have thickened. You can see it there. So that's a really nice consistency now. Hopefully our fragrance oil won't mess this up for us, because as you know with body wash, when you start adding things, it can change the viscosity. So let's move on to our surfactants now and see how we do. So for surfactants, I have caprylyl glucoside, if that's how you spell it. This is a really nice, mild, gentle surfactant, and when paired with decyl glucoside and also cocamidal propylbutane, it should make us a very nice body wash. So with that said, here's my cocamidal propylbutane. I'm just going to add that, and then I'm also going to add my decyl glucoside, which is a lot thicker. Add that in there. It's all about working out your active surfactant matter, which I've got a video on, I'll leave the link below, and just sort of pairing surfactants that are compatible with each other to get the results you want, really, because different surfactants do different jobs. Some are good at cleansing, some are good at lathering, some are good at bubbling, and cocamidal propylbutane basically makes it a bit nicer for your skin. So we're going to mix these up. That thickens as well once they get properly mixed up together. Doing this by hand because I don't want to kick up a load of bubbles, although to be fair, if you leave it, the bubbles do go away eventually, so it's really not a massive deal. If you want to use an overhead stirrer or something like that, then you will get things mixed better, so it's up to you. There we go. Mix that up. Bring our water phase back, and we're going to add surfactants into that, like so. Very much hoping this works and it doesn't go really thin, because you never know. These aren't the kind of surfactants that you'd thicken with salt, so that's why we're using the gum, you see. Right, that's in there, and we'll stir it up and see what we get. At the moment, so far so good. Starting to feel a little bit thinner. This is of course a bit of an experiment, so if this does thin out a little bit, then I'd potentially use a little bit more gum, or look at other thickeners, but actually it feels okay. Can you see that? That's an acceptable body wash texture. Now this is without any fragrance or preservative at the moment. What I'm going to do, because I want to make sure that, basically I want to make sure that it doesn't thin out because of the fragrance. We've seen what it's like at the moment, so I'm going to add my fragrance and preservative to this. I'm using Saligard PCG as the preservative because it's a really good water soluble preservative. It works in a broad pH range, and also it's very stable with surfactants, so it's a really good one for this. And I've also got some mango fragrance in there, so actually, you know, the colour's not too bad for that. So I'm going to add that in. Moment of truth. Is it going to thin out, is the question. Weirdly, it's actually feeling like it's thickening up. That has not happened to me before. This is good, we like this. Wow, okay. That has thickened. I don't know if you can tell, but I can feel the resistance. So, okay, cool, we're good with that. If you want to know what fragrance all that was mango from Fresh Skin here in the UK. It smells divine, absolutely divine. So, okay, that's all mixed up. So now what I need to do, just to make sure that this is all fine and happy for my skin and to check if anything changes, is to check and adjust the pH. So for that, I'm going to go and get my pH meter that can go into sort of thicker liquids. Okay, so I've got a little thing, let's put it that side, I've got a little thing of water there because we want to just rinse it off, make sure the pH meter is nice and clean. And normally I'd pour a little bit of this off and adjust and so on because I don't want to contaminate the main batch. But when I first do a formula, I'll always do it in the main batch because I don't want to keep taking away from the main batch and adjusting it, because obviously the volume is getting less and less and less each time, so that could affect how much you're adding, and next time it might not be accurate. So I always do it in the main batch first time. So let's pop it in there and see what we get. And we seem to have a 6.48. I don't know if it's just changed as I've taken it out, but there you go. Rinse it off. Now, we want a pH of between about 5.5 and 6 for the capryl glucoside, and I also want to reduce it a little bit just so it's a little nicer for the skin. So I'm going to make a 50-50 citric acid water solution and then add little bits of that until I get to around a 6 or a 5.5. So here's my citric acid solution. You just want to do a little bit at a time, like just 1, 2, 3 drops, 4 drops, and mix that in. This may change viscosity. You can, raising and adjusting pH can affect so much. So if your body wash is very thin after adding your fragrance oil, just adjusting the pH can actually rectify that. So give that a go. Mix that really well, and then we'll leave it just for a second before we take our pH again. Make sure your pH meter is clean before you put it in again, and we'll take the pH again. And we've got a 6.24, I don't know if you can see that. So wipe that off, give that a rinse, put it there. We need to check again, so that's taken it down just a little bit. So let's do 5 or 6 more. Mix that round, still feels lovely and thick. So this is working out pretty well so far. Just, oh, the smell. Absolutely adore the smell of this. Right. Okay. Nicely mixed in, and then we'll just leave that for a minute again before we take the pH. This is just to make sure that it can sort of acclimatise to its new pH before you read it again. Okay, it's been a minute. Let it read, and the trick with the pH meters is just to keep them in until the numbers stop flashing. I can see that's a 5.89. It's probably changed as I've taken it out, but there you go. 5.89, that's between 5.5 and a 6. I'm not going to mess around any longer, so I'm happy with that. Rinse off pH meter, put it away, and there you go. We have our lovely, thick, gorgeous smelling, pH adjusted body wash. Now I just need something to put it in. I don't have many containers left now because I've used them all, but here's a nice little sort of square one. So we're going to use this, and I'm going to pour it directly into here. Watch me as I get it everywhere. You can use a funnel, but I like to live dangerously. So there we go. So far so good. Here we go. I'm loving the texture of this. Looks like jelly. And then just make sure I leave a little bit of room because I want the spout to go in without displacing loads. Actually, this should be right. Let's try that. Okay, put that in here, screw it on, ta-da! So here you go, your mango body wash. Obviously I've just made this, so I don't know how it's going to perform overnight. It might do horrible things. Hopefully it doesn't. If it does, then I'll make sure I edit in the results. If you don't see anything terrible happening to it, then you can assume that it's fine after a day. But obviously, like I always say, these things that I make on my channel, they are experiments. So if you do want to make them for your business or for yourself or your friends, then do make sure that you do your own stability testing and leave them for, you know, a good while doing your testing, because, you know, they're not sale ready yet. But anyway, that is your body wash. I hope you like that. I've got some other things to make now, so I'm going to go do that. But first, let's go into the other room and do a lather test, shall we? Because what's a body wash without a lather test? So there you go, here's a lather test. It lathers up quite a lot. It's not overly bubbly, but really nice and lathery and creamy, so I'm really pleased with it. Oh, there you go, there's some bubbles. I really like it. I hope you like it too. That's it for this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like that formula. It did turn out pretty well in the end, so pleased with that. Let me know if you gave it a go. Let me know if you like the vlog format or not. I know it kind of divides the crowd, but I do intend to provide formulas each week regardless, or at least some useful information. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.